Hey everyone, my name is Ankit. I'm a software engineer turned security evangelist, and I secure businesses for food because I believe hungry security researchers are the best. So this video is going to be long, but it will be worth your time because I bet this is the best video you'll see around keeping OpenCart security rock solid and malware cleanup on the entire internet. So stay tuned. This video is entirely about OpenCart security and malware removal, where I'll talk about a step-by-step process on how hackers hack your OpenCart store and how do they find weak areas in your application. Then I'll tell you how do you remove malware from your infected store, where I'll decode two most common malware attacks. First, I'll start with credit card hijacking, where I'll exactly tell you how hackers steal your customers' credit card information. Then I'll talk about adware pop-ups, where hackers' intent is to trouble your visitors by showing advertisements. Further, I'll talk about how to protect your OpenCart store from malware attacks, and I'll also tell you actionable steps you need to take in order to secure your OpenCart store easily. In the end, I'll tell you what should be your next steps after you have recovered from a hack situation. In this section, I'll tell you how hackers find certain weak areas on your store and eventually hack your OpenCart store. One, they exploit /admin, which is open to the world. So whenever you install an OpenCart instance, then by default the admin URL is /admin. So if you do not have any security practice, either you changed the URL to something that is unknown by the world and it is not indexed in Google search or in any other search engines, then you're good to go. Otherwise, this is alarming and you need to change or put some kind of security on /admin URL. Second, in case OpenCart is not on the latest version, then you might be vulnerable. So OpenCart as a community push out versions on the core OpenCart product, and they assume that every store owner or their dev teams will have OpenCart stores updated. Every now there's a new version that's being released, because either it could be some UI change, some functionality change, some feature upgrade, or a security reason that led to a version upgrade. Okay, so this is very important. On whatever branch you are in your OpenCart store, you need to ensure, if you're on OpenCart 2, you need to ensure you are on the latest version on 2.x OpenCart. Next, hackers exploit themes and extensions with either known or unknown vulnerabilities. With all the features that extensions bring in to the OpenCart store, it makes extensions as a first choice for store owners, as it makes development process way easier. But at the same time, we have seen a lot of times extensions are the reason for a hack situation. So you need to ensure you are from time to time updating all the third-party extensions and themes you're using for your OpenCart store. Next, the reason how hackers are able to hack your store is exposed server credentials. So it could be a process in social engineering when one of your employees or credentials are being exposed or leaked. Other could be your server credentials are kept in a file on the server and that file is accessible by the public. So you need to make sure that server credentials are not exposed in any case. Next reason on why hackers are able to hack your store is because of shared hosting. As one bad apple in a lot makes the entire lot affected, in the similar way, one unsecure website has capabilities to take down all the websites on that shared hosting. Now we'll talk about credit card hijacking. Whenever a hacker tries to steal credit card information on your OpenCart store, that is credit card hijacking. Okay, so credit card information could be your credit card information, your customer's credit card information, or anybody who's accessing their credit cards on your OpenCart store. Let me just show you how credit cards are stolen. For that, I've set up an OpenCart instance which looks right like this. So it's a very fresh OpenCart install. There's no products that are being added. There's no any kind of payment gateways that have been added, so it should come with cash on delivery as default, right? So now what I'll do, I'll just be ordering an iPhone today, and I'll show you what happens when you go to the checkout. I'll go to the checkout, I'll start the checkout process, I'll buy this product right away. Okay, so I'll have to fill this information. I'll just put in some random information so that we don't spend a lot of time doing that. gmail.com, some random number, some random address, some random city, some random postal code, and one second, some random country, some random state, and I'll just continue. Okay, so it says it will charge a flat shipping rate. That's okay. I'll let it go through. It asks me for a credit card. There could be other options like cash on delivery or any other option, PayPal or anything like that. So I'll choose credit card. I'll click on the terms and conditions. I'll click on continue, and it says the price is $131. It asks me for credit card details. Okay, so what I'll show you, everything looks fine, right? For your OpenCart store, you would have another payment gateways, pre-configured, and the process would be similar. But here's a kick, right? So what I'll do, I'll just open my console, and I'll open the network tab, and I'll let the browser preserve all the logs so that I can look at all the logs. I'll put some information, credit card details. I'll put my name, some random credit card number, some credit expiry. I'll leave it as is, CVV, and I'll confirm the order. So your order has been placed. Great. So what I'll do, I'll now look at all the log files and see what has happened when I actually purchased my product. Okay, so I see one PHP file which sends some data. So I'll just make the screen bigger because now I already have my order placed. It requests a URL to evilanalytics.com. It is sending some data. Okay, so by looking at the data, this looks like that this data is encoded. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just copy this data, and so because I've been practicing security for a long time, I know this is base 64 encoding. So I'll just decode this to understand what data is being sent to evilanalytics.com. Okay, when I decode, whoa, look at this data. So it says credit card owner, it's my name, what I entered in the form. It says credit card number, it enters the same number that I entered in the form while the checkout process. It gives my expiry date and month, my CVV for a fact. So what has just happened, it has taken down all my credit card information and sent to evilanalytics.com. So this is what exactly happens to a store if it is hacked by a credit card malware. Okay, so whenever there's a credit card malware in your OpenCart store, then credit card information is being stolen and sent to resources like these. So Evil Analytics is just one of those resources which is collecting all the credit card information of your customers. So guys, this is very alarming and very annoying for store owners like you. So what do we do next? Let's fix credit card hack. Right, so let me just get back to the OpenCart instance that we have set up. In the side, I have opened my database via adminer. You could do it via MySQL dump or adminer or other ways that you get into database, right? So one little thing that I already know, that whenever I was making a purchase, it was sending a request to Evil Analytics, right? So the URL to the server is Evil Analytics and it was not encoded. The URL was not encoded, right? So similarly, what you could do, you could simply search for evil analytics, and when you make a search, it will search the entire database and gives out a result in OC underscore setting table. And when we see that, it says setting ID this, store ID this, code is analytics Google. So looks like this URL is being set in Google Analytics code and value is this. So let's just edit it and see what is inside Google Analytics code. Okay, so by no means this looks like a Google Analytics code. There's an object that's being initialized, and okay, so by no means this is a Google Analytics code, because we all know what a Google Analytics code looks like, and this is the malware that we were looking for. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just select it all, I'll delete it, I'll save it. Okay, so one item has been infected and there's no row, right? So what I'll do, I'll just go back to store, I'll hard refresh it so that there's no cache issue. Now what I'll do, I'll just order a MacBook and see if we still see credit card in a very fresh OpenCart instance installed. I'll just add in again some information because it's required, and some telephone numbers, some address, some city. Okay, everything else is filled. I'll select state, I'll click on continue. Okay, so now it says either credit card, debit card, via checkout, PayPal, SagePay, Skrill, processed securely by PayPal, right? So these are all companies that process credit cards, and I know all the names of these companies. So if I select, say, SagePay and continue, and let's see if the issue still persists, because we have already removed the malware and we already see a change there. Let me just put in all the details again. Visa card number is this. Earlier it was not even accepting whether the card is Visa or whatever, the MasterCard. Then what I'll do the same process. I'll preserve logs, I'll let it capture logs, I'll remove all the existing logs, and I'll confirm the order. So the vendor or vendor name format is invalid. So that is what was required, right? So, and you would see there's no malicious intent here. There's no data being sent to a malicious site. There is no PHP code ran that was sending data to evil analytics, because we have already removed malware. So this is how a credit card hack is identified, how you can go back and search in the database and remove malware. So this was a very basic and clear demonstration of a credit card hack. But hackers today are way smart, and what they do is every data that you see, they either encode in ASCII code or any other encoding that a computer understands. So you could see either gibberish characters or English characters, and you would not even able to identify if it's a malware or not, but it would be a malware, and you'll continue to lose credit card information, either yours or your customers, and hackers will continue to steal credit card informations. So that is why it is really important to remove malware, identify symptoms. So if your customers are telling that our credit cards are getting blocked, our banks are continuously blocking our credit cards because information is being lost, or have been sold in black market, or there have been malicious payments, so listen to their requests and make an action and get the freaking malware removed. That is the only solution. Next hot malware in 2020 is adware pop-up malware. So what happens in that is new notification starts to pop up on your website for no reason. Again, that is because of a malicious script on your website, and apparently you don't know about that. So I'll exactly tell you how it looks like. Let's get back to the browser. I'll open the store, and I've already inserted the malware, and it says OpenCart store wants to Okay, so I think I clicked something. So it says OpenCart store wants to show notifications. I'll block it. Irrespective of that, I see IQ vehicle trusted by more than, so I basically start to see notifications popping on my site, and I don't know that. So I've seen this on multiple websites I visit. That means all those websites are hacked. So when you don't know what notifications you are showing, it's not an intended behavior on your store, right? So what we'll do, we'll again have to find from where this is coming. Now what we have classified is that this is a malware, right? So malware is basically a malicious script on your store. So it could be a JavaScript, it could be a PHP script if your store is built on LampStack. So OpenCart is obviously built on LampStack. So what we'll do, we'll have to identify the bad script, the malicious script, and then our store would be up and running again without any unintended behavior. So what I'll do is I'll just go into the database again and I'll simply remove the malware. So since I've put in the malware, I'll just go to the table analytics where we put in Google Analytics code, and I'll just remove it and see if after removing that malicious script our store starts to run fine or not. So we'll go to OC_setting until we find the Google Analytics code. Here it is, the middle row. I select it, I edit it, and this is the malicious script I've put in, right? So what I'll do, I'll simply delete the script, save the table, let the query run, and go back to the store, refresh it. Yeah, so since I've removed the malware, I've removed the malicious script, then there is no unintended behavior on my site, and this doesn't lead to any kind of bad faith to my customers. So now they can trust my store and simply can do transactions on my store easily. I've already told you how do you remove malware, but this will serve as a blueprint when you sit back and remove malware in case of a hack situation. So it's simple. What do you need to do? Just scan for malware and remove it. I know that this is not simple as is. Inside this point, you need to look for malware. So you need to go out into the application, all core files, all JavaScript files, every file that's on the server and supporting the application, you need to look for malware in those files. So you need to scan all these files. It could be core files, it could be simple HTML files for templating, simple JavaScript files that's adding functionalities to the application, or even places like Google Analytics code, the way we have inserted malware in one of the extensions in Google Analytics code. You need to scan extensions and theme files. So as I've already told you, that extensions makes the entire ecosystem more powerful and more feature rich, but at the same time makes the entire ecosystem vulnerable. So you need to scan each and every extension or theme file that you use in case of a hack situation. Then you need to trace backdoors and block all entry points. To maintain access on your application, they insert backdoors. These are file managers that are generally inserted by hackers so that they can come back to application anytime and infect the application. Next is Astra's malware scanner that gives you wings when it comes to malware removal. Let me quickly take you inside Astra's dashboard where I shall show you how easy it gets to scan your application files for malware with a few button clicks. Before I get to our malware scanner, here's a dashboard that shows the number of attacks that are stopped for a store, how many XSS attacks were stopped, and more security information. In threats section, you see type of attacks, attacking IP, and status of attacks as well. And you can also trust or block an IP, range of IPs, and even countries right from our dashboard. In login protection area, you can see name, username, and IPs of people who entered your admin area. And if you suspect any malicious activity, you can block them right in our dashboard. From other features that we have in our dashboard, let's get to our accurate malware scanner that helps you identify malware on a button click. Just click on start new scan, and after its processing time you'll see malware details if your store is infected. The beauty of the scanner is it's always an incremental scan, so every time a scan is initiated, scanner will only scan newly added code in your application. Also, you can schedule scans, download scan reports, and in case of malware you can also request a malware cleanup. That's about our malware scanner, and in case you have questions about our security solution, feel free to write us at hello@getastra.com and we'll be happy to assist you for all your security needs. We've already seen how hackers hack, how malware looks like, how do you remove malware, and now we'll talk about how do you secure your OpenCart store. One, you need to update your OpenCart to latest version. This is something that we have already talked about when I was telling you that hackers exploit your versions in OpenCart if they are not the latest versions. Then you need to update your extensions regularly. These points are really important. Then you need to change admin URL and implement HTTP auth. So if you are struggling changing admin URL, then you'll see a guide in the description below so that you can change admin URL without any issues and implementation. Next is to change admin URL and implement HTTP auth on admin. So in case you're struggling changing admin URL or implementing HTTP authentication, then you'll find a guide in the description that you can use to implement these security practices. Next is to ensure version numbers are not leaked. So version numbers are simple text as a good practices. You know what developers write in the comments of the file, that what version it is for the extensions, for the theme files. So you need to ensure that you get rid of them, you need to hide them or remove them so that version numbers are not leaked as a security practice. Keep strict file permissions. This comes as a really important. What if your PHP files are open to read to anybody who accesses your website? Yeah, that is dangerous, right? It could even expose your database passwords or any other confidential information. Change error.txt to error.log. This becomes really important so that hackers don't look at your log files. You need to set display errors to off. So whenever a hacker is trying to hack your database or a server, and whenever a database or a server throws error to hackers, which could also give some meaningful information that would elevate their hacking process, right? So as a security practice, we recommend you set display errors to off. Okay guys, this was about the level 1 security practices I had for you. In case you want to understand more about OpenCart security, or you want more content about securing your OpenCart stores, then I would want you to comment on the video and tell me, hey, whatever content you're pushing out, I'm liking it and I want more of that. Then I shall do that, and I'll also link relevant guides in the description that you could use for your OpenCart security. Wondering what are your next steps? One, you need to ensure there's no entry point for hacker. You need to make sure that a hacker in no ways is maintaining access to your application. Second, install a web application firewall for 24/7/365 security, because in case of hack situations, your developer at maximum would go and check error log files, right? So that would be post hack. So web application firewall sits on application layer level and protects your application 24/7/365. Third is to become security conscious. So this is the best advice that I can give you in 2020, because if you want to do business in 2020 and beyond, you need to make sure that you are adopting relevant security practices to your business. Then you can scan your OpenCart store using our free website scanner. It checks for blacklists, security headers, and vulnerabilities. Your next step is to seek professional help from Astra Security. So we are best in the industry when it comes to your security needs. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like the video, consider subscribing to our channel and you would see more content on OpenCart security, as we are on a mission to make security accessible as well as simple for everyone. Bye bye.